Welcome to Bookings and Bottles, the podcast for travel professionals who like a little bit of wine and a lot of wisdom. I'm your host, Simone Snedolf, workflow and habit designer, and the host of this podcast. Today, we're inviting Robyn to the table. She is a comedian, an actor, performer, and a scientist. She's basically traveled the world for work and pleasure. Let's welcome Robyn. Welcome, Robyn. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Hello, Simone. I'm so excited to be here. Hi.
It's amazing to have you. We spoke about traveling, and just to start this off with is you recently missed a flight because of a silent lounge. I'm so sorry that happened.
No, it's fine. I just think in the modern world, we're trying to streamline a lot of things, but there's certain things that they worked because they worked, and why are we taking them away? So that's my little, sometimes things are better in the past. So can we just stick to it?
I'm so sorry this happened. And in case this ever happens to any of my listeners where they scan your boarding pass and you kind of miss the flight, is just one big tip is to download the app, the specific airlines app, and then enable push notifications. And that way your phone will ping the exact second that boarding begins.
No, it's fine. What I don't understand is why you have to, when you check into a lounge, you have to scan your boarding pass. So then they know that you're there in the bill. Like you've checked in and you're in the lounge. Surely the airline knows you're there. Like, why is it?
Exactly.
Anyway. So yeah, I agree with the push notifications of the app because maybe that would have saved me.
Let's talk about being a scientist and a comedian. I'd love to hear, is there anything that spills over from your science background into your comedian and acting life?
Well, I think that there's definitely a correlation or a combination in the person that I am, right? So it's something that I've explored deeply in my acting anyway, of how to be both people all the time rather than in science mode, I'm scientist, and in comedy mode, I'm comedian. Because obviously, you can't just tell jokes at work all the time if you're in the science field, but that having the ability to, I say, disarm people, of make people relax, because people can get very serious, especially, in the sciences and whatever. But on the other side, I do think it definitely helps in that I've learned skills from being a scientist, from the way my brain works, that does help in the acting, in the comedy world. Maybe not so much with the making the jokes, but the cognitive functioning, the quick on your feet, the thinking as you go. I'm finding now, so I'm recently have left the job that I had in clinical research. So I'm finding now that the admin and the analysis and the research stuff is really helping in trying to build this next chapter of, okay, how are we going to make performer work well? Let's take some skills that we know already and bring it there. So I think that they overlap in different ways and often surprisingly.
I always like to get the 80-20. What have you spent 10 years developing is now automatic for you. So that's kind of why the question is like, I'd like to get that deeper insight, because being a scientist is so interesting. And you mentioned that it was clinical research. What drew you to that initially?
Unemployment, I would say.
That's a contributor, it's a motivator.
Yeah, I think sciences is an interesting one because I guess it depends where you study. But where I studied, I went to Rhodes University, and your undergrad kind of leads you into your postgrad, and then they kind of, from honors, they build a project that will take you to PhD should you want to go there. But if you don't want to go there, there's not really that much information out there of what do you do? I know some of the larger universities have their career days and whatever. I found, at least when it was my turn, there was a career day at Rhodes, and they were angling more towards the commerce and the law and that side of the university, because the science is very much stay in the science and go up the chain, So I didn't know what to do. And then I had a friend who was already working in clinical research who passed my CV on to her manager, and he kept it. When they say, oh, we don't have a position, but I'll keep it on file. And they've thrown that away. He kept it on file. And 6 months later, they were like, okay, now we have some openings. We're doing interviews if you'd like to come in. So that's basically how I got in. And yeah, after that, I don't know, this is a bit off topic, but being 30 now and going through this change of I don't want to stay in the same role, but I don't know what else to do because I feel like it's not easy to pivot, but I mean laterally move, right? If you want to change, you generally end up going down first and then building up again. And I think that is partly the case of, especially in, I don't know, in South Africa with the economy the way it is and has been for several years, you stay in a job and you don't really look anywhere else other than kind of in that exact job to get a promotion or a raise or a whatever because you don't know what else to do, I guess. Or maybe that's just my experience. And yeah.
I think that's very true for a lot of people, especially people that want to it's more common than you think. I've had conversations with people recently who have completely changed and shifted their career path. So it's not just you.
Yeah. And how does it look appealing to a new employer or a client or whatever? And also just sticking on topic with the podcast, when you are in a role that is heavily travel influenced, right? I travel a lot for work, and then in my free time or in my want to focus on comedy time, then I also travel because to get, seen and exposure, it's better to go overseas and be like, hey, I've performed in London, I've performed in New York. Then go, okay, if I shift, will I now be in an office job where I stay in the same thing every day when I'm so used to this travel around the world thing? Or when you get to a point where maybe it's a lot of travel in short spaces of time, and that can be very draining. I don't know about anyone else, but I know even on a leisure trip, I'm very stressed the day before. Like, you can plan and be excited and be like, I've got everything sorted. But that day before is the most stressful. It's like, but what if I missed the plane because the lounge is silent? Or once I was flying to Thailand with my now fiance and there was an oil slick on my brain is not working today. What is it called where the plane drives?
The runway.
Runway.
Listen,
So
we're
there was
all
an
human.
So there was an oil slick on the runway, and then the planes were all delayed for that day. So now we have this package. We have 7 days in Thailand, and now we've lost the day because the plane can't take off. And these are things you cannot plan for. Like I said, you can't plan a delayed flight, but you can at least try and make the best of it. So my point was, travel can be stressful. So sometimes when you want to pivot out of your role into something a bit less travel intensive because it's been intense, but you don't want to be sitting in an office every day, all day. It's tough to find that balance, I think. So you kind of stick to what you know rather than exploring something else.
Sticking to what you know, that's what keeps us in the same loop, a reactive loop in general. And it's not just with what you're talking about, because obviously I think a lot of people will resonate with what you're saying. First of all, when it comes to travel, because sometimes you need a holiday from your holiday, because it really is just that. There's a lot of things. You're traveling to a different country. It's crazy, or a different continent even. I recently went to the States and I had 3 or 4 flights, I can't remember. And literally, as I was disembarking of my next flight, so I had to run through the airport, take a bus to the second one. And it wasn't just me, everyone was so stressed. I remember getting up in front of people and they're like, I also have a flight. And I'm like, mine's boarding right now. And then I started to wait for my bags to get delivered. And it was just like, and it was back to back. So the first one was about a 30-minute. I had 30 minutes to get to my gate. And that was including disembarking and everything. And then it was just like 2 or 3 flights like that. And I was just like, my nerves at the end of it was so shot. There are stressful sides when it comes to travel. Obviously, this is a travel podcast. I'm going to plug in travel agents. And that's why we should be using travel agents, because this is their expertise. And if something goes wrong, they're there to support you. It's that safety guard to make you feel safe and travel safe. But when it comes to being reactive and stuck in doing the same thing over and over again, is like it's such a big thing to recognize that, because a lot of people don't even recognize that they're stuck in a loop, a reactive loop, and that's where it comes from. So I love that you're speaking about it. It's very personable. It's very real what people actually go through. So thank you for sharing that.
Sure. I want to ask about your travels in the US because, like, as soon as you said, I've got to wait for my bag, I'm like, never check a bag. If you can avoid it, never check a bag.
Yeah.
Never. I was like,
We
wait.
had to. We had to.
Yeah,
So
it was a long trip.
I never check my bags in. I always take but it was because I was coming home from the US. So my mom had bought me like so many clothes. So I added a second bag and I still took a small little suitcase on the plane. I normally just travel with a backpack and I keep that thing on me. But because I had that, I had to check it in. So, and it was,
Assuming multiple different airlines, so you couldn't just
yeah,
check it through to the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the US, I
So,
haven't traveled extensively in the US, but the bit that I have, because they like have their little hubs, so then you often end up flying via somewhere else, and that, it's stressful.
very
You
stressful.
need those
Very, very,
notifications on loud in those airports.
absolutely. Uh, but I'd like to talk. So, first of all, is congratulations on your career and really moving towards what is aligned with who you are. I know that you're in that kind of phase of figuring it out, but a lot of people don't even do that. So, congratulations on that. And first, also, congratulations on recently emceeing at an event. We're all about celebrating the wins, it's really such an important part of life. And I'd love to talk about your comedy. You mentioned that your business solves the depression problem. I love that you said that. And you make people laugh, tell stories, make them feel seen, less alone. Let's talk about that. Let's unpack that. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, so it was a surprise, definitely, for sure. When I started, I was au pairing in America. I was in New York. When I left university, it was one of those of, okay, I've been put on this track of like, I had been accepted into masters. It was master's, PhD. That was kind of going to be the plan. And then I decided I don't want to stay in Grahamstown. Not that there's anything against it. It was Grahamstown at the time, not Mukunda, but I respect the name. I was like, I can't sit here and for the next 7 years of my life, I want to get out there into the world. I've always been a big traveler, a see the world kind of person. And then I came back from university and I just hadn't figured out. I did a snap decision making, I think, reaction where I started looking for a job rather than remembering that I left university so I could go and look for like a travel opportunity or whatever. So I ended up getting this job as like a salesperson in a internal sales position in an office and supporting the people who went out there. And I'm an out there person. So I'm sitting in the office like sending emails on their behalf while they go into the world. And I was like, this is not why I left university. So then I decided to au pair in America. And then I was living in New York, in the suburbs of New York. And I was like, if you are going to do anything wild this year, like go do something. And then so I went to like an open mic comedy night and I just tried. And then open mics in New York are very depressing. I'm not going to lie. It's like 10 other comedians who don't care about you. They're sitting there thinking about what they are going to say because this open mic is the one that's going to make them get the confidence to go to a show or whatever it is. So having a different accent was definitely an advantage because then people look up and then they go, oh, she's new. That's interesting. I haven't heard that before. Okay, cool. And then I started chatting to people and then I went to more open mic after open mic after open mic. So for my 6 months left that I had there, I was just performing, doing these open mics, and then somebody liked me and put me on a bar show, and then I ended up somewhere else, and then I performed at Broadway Comedy Club, and I was like, wow, I'm really like making it. I'm like 6 months in and I'm on Broadway. And then my term as an au pair ended, so I came back to South Africa, and things have kind of stunted, or I mean, it's difficult. You can't compare any stand-up industry in the world to New York because it is like a hub. It's like you can perform 6 times a night if you want to. It's crazy. So getting paid for it is a different thing, but performing is possible. So when I came back to South Africa, it was a huge learning curve. Now I've made all my jokes about being this white girl from South Africa, from Africa in America, and like, and so I come back to South Africa and I'm like, yeah, I'm African American, haha. And people are like,
Yeah.
okay. So it's almost 10 years now that I've been doing comedy and learning how to do it, where to go. I'm still figuring it out. But yeah, it's something that it lives in me. It's so exciting. Like in a normal conversation at a dinner table, like to get somebody to laugh and feel better. Like I said, I don't know, I've been given this gift to help people feel better about shitty things. Sorry for the swearing. But they, like, when you're upset about something and somebody can make you laugh about it, it feels less heavy. And that's how I've operated, I think, in my whole life. So yeah, I just love to do that and I want to do it more. And I don't know how to package it every time, but that is, yeah, it's something special and it's something really cool that for whatever reason I can do.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing. It's really been a very real and authentic episode. I really appreciate your honesty and your candor. It's really refreshing. For our guests who would like to work with you, if we have someone who wants an MC or even, any of that, how would they get a hold of you? How does it work just before we close off?
Sure. So I have a website, robyndunlop.com. It's a little under construction at the moment, but you can go there or you can email me at robyn@robyndunlop.com. Or you can find me on Instagram. You can DM me there. I love emceeing events. I love meeting people in all sorts of different realms. So please, if you need anything, how do I say that without sounding so desperate?
No, I
Yeah.
asked you. You're not desperate.
Yes.
I asked you. So
Yeah. And I
not
also have a show coming up, Somerset West, the Drama Factory, and I'm planning a tour going around South Africa, hopefully the world very soon. So yeah, keep an eye on me. And if I come to your town, please come and laugh.
amazing. Well, thank you so much, Robyn, for your time. It's been such a privilege and such a lovely session, authentic session, as I said. On behalf of my listeners, we hope to see you soon. So thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. This has been really lovely.
Amazing. And to my listeners, thank you. I'm so happy to be on this journey with you and sharing it with you. Be safe and have fun. Bye bye.